US President Donald Trump and Elon Musk have declared war on USAid. They claim that America's main overseas aid agency is actually a front for corruption and all kinds of nefarious activities, including regime change operations. Now, that claim of USAid funding regime change has also found an echo in India.
यूएसएड ने ओपन सोसाइटी फाउंडेशन जॉर्ज सोरोस को 5,000 करोड़ रुपया भारत को टुकड़े करने के लिए दिया या नहीं दिया? यूएसएड और जॉर्ज सोरोस की ओपन सोसाइटी फाउंडेशन ने राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन और राजीव गांधी चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट को पैसा दिया कि नहीं दिया? तीसरा, ओवरसीज कांग्रेस के जो अध्यक्ष हैं सैम पित्रोदा साहब, उनको यूएसएड ने पैसा दिया या नहीं दिया? बांग्लादेश का जो पोषाहार है, जिसको कि यूनुस जो सीईओ है, वो जिसने कि बांग्लादेश में डेमोक्रेसी को बर्बाद किया, उसके साथ गांधी परिवार के क्या संबंध हैं? चौथा सवाल यह है कि राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन में जो विजय महाजन है, प्रधान जो उनकी संस्था है, उसको यूएसएड पैसा दे रही है कि नहीं दे रही है? आपने राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन में विजय महाजन को देश को टुकड़े करने के लिए रखा है या नहीं रखा है?
Now, without a doubt, these charges are extremely serious, especially since the BJP MP doesn't just accuse USAID of trying to destabilize India, but also says that organizations linked to the opposition, like the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation and Overseas Congress, are hand in glove with it. Further, Nishikant Dubey said that USAID funds were specifically used in protests against the Agniveer scheme, to finance support garnered for a nationwide caste census, and to spread Naxalism, Maoist terror in the country. The truth of such charges remains a subject of an investigation in India, but what is truly worrying is that such allegations aren't just being made by a political party. You could pass that off as using this as an excuse to target your political opponents. So, now you need to know about Mike Pence. Mike Pence is a former US State Department official who worked in the first Trump administration. He too has made similar claims. Pence says that between 2018 and 2019, the Indian government was targeted by some sections of the American regime which did not agree with Trump's foreign policy. How was this campaign carried out? Pence says in an interview that this anti-Modi campaign started before the 2019 general elections, where influential think tanks and social media tech giants were working together to present the electoral success of Narendra Modi as quote-unquote result of a misinformation campaign. As a step two, WhatsApp was actively censored to stop Modi supporters from countering this propaganda. Pence also claims that he received various emails in which US tech companies were asked to aggressively carry out censorship of content that showed Modi in a positive light. He's named Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube and Twitter as platforms which were behind such operations. He then goes on to advise India to conduct a background check of agencies that were indulging in this so-called counter-misinformation program, and that will help us identify who really was getting US aid funding. And finally, he concludes that US aid plays a role much beyond humanitarian purposes. It influences foreign governments and even manages online discourse, probably with the final goal of regime change. So should India really listen to all this? Should it really fear a deep state operation for regime change, or is this mere conspiracy theory? Well, if events in our immediate neighborhood are anything to go by, this isn't something that can be shrugged off so easily, because what is being said for India, what was being attempted in India, is also something that was said, that was predicted for Bangladesh. The same Mike Pence has also claimed that the recent unrest in Bangladesh that ended in the ouster of Sheikh Hasina has a direct link to the same US aid. Now, how does one join the dots? Remember, Sheikh Hasina had claimed just before her ouster that the US is targeting her since she refused to give them possession of St. Martin's Island. Hasina's claim is also backed up by documents which were later accessed by an Indian English daily. The Sunday Guardian claimed that the plan to remove Sheikh Hasina as Prime Minister was set in motion in early 2019. Documents suggest that US-based International Republican Institute, or IRI, was behind the entire operation. As per the report, in March 2019, IRI received a grant for its activities from Usaid, then started a program called Promoting Accountability, Inclusivity and Resiliency Support Program. The RII said that this program was needed to enhance political participation of citizens of Bangladesh and amplify voices that are against authoritarianism. IRI's program raised public awareness on social and political issues in Bangladesh and supported the public to challenge status quo. But the document, which was accessed by the Sunday Guardian, identified 5 Washington-based US State Department officials and 3 Dhaka-based US officials, 2 of whom were Usaid. These people, who were linked to the State Department and who were with the Usaid, were the primary contacts, and ultimately the funding that was given to the IRI was meant to end in regime change. This, again, is not the only claim. WikiLeaks also had revealed in 2012 that Washington is giving strategic aid to political parties and groups abroad that promoted US agenda in nations which had insubordinate governments. Simply put, these are governments which simply aren't listening to America, which aren't furthering American interests. Behind all these foundations is one name: Usaid. And it has become a critical part of the security, intelligence and defense axis in Washington. In the WikiLeaks report, the term is colored revolution. Colored revolution, which means regime change favorable to US interests. Literally, they color us in their interests. And as if on cue, Usaid and its dollars are omnipresent in that very country. How does a colored revolution work according to the documents that were exposed by WikiLeaks? Step 1, student and youth movements lead the way. Step 2, they attract others to join in. 3, active participation of multiple social groups. 4, significant use of technology, in particular secure communication apps. 5, the report then also says that there is generous and unexplained funding, and it usually emanates from new bank accounts. Step 6, random news designed to incite more participants, and in particular the use of graphic images of state violence, rape, etc. Does that sound familiar? Of something, of protests that have been carried out in India as well. Look, as of right now, these are all claims, but what one should worry about is that these claims have come from very disparate sources. On the one hand is a BJP MP, on the other is a former State Department official, on the other hand there is WikiLeaks. These dots may seem very far apart, but maybe it's time, now with Trump himself cracking down on Usaid, that India also begins to connect the dots.